Okay, so welcome to the Scales podcast with me, Tom Ryder. This is episode number 3. And in this podcast, we are looking at the Scales model to assist with mental well-being. And a reminder of what the Scales model is. Scales stands for sleep, creative, active, listen, earth, and social. And the idea is if you keep all your strings in tune and in harmony and nice and balanced, then you stand a good chance of feeling in tune yourself and staying well and staying healthy and happy and able to tackle all the things that life throws at us. Today, my guest is Victoria Davies-Heskett of VDH Sleep.
Correct.
Correct. Good. We've got that right. And we're really going to focus on the sleep string today because it is so crucial for well-being. It's so fundamental to, it kind of underpins everything. And certainly I know from my own experience, if I'm not sleeping well, it's throwing the whole day off. Mm-hmm. And Victoria's going to tell us a little bit more about what she does, but my general understanding is it's a specialism in infant sleep. So it's helping.
Well, no, it's infant sleep, but obviously when your infant's not sleeping, the parent's not sleeping. So actually, I think it's as much to do with adult sleep as it is infant sleep. Because if you've got a baby that's sleeping or not sleeping, then you're not feeling on top of your game, are you? Because your lack of sleep is detrimental to your day. And then when you've also got a baby to look after, you're not firing on all cylinders at all. Because as you say, the sleep is so fundamental to your well-being that's why I think what I do is so important. Because I'm not only helping the baby with their sleep or their toddler, I'm also helping the parents get much better sleep and feel better about themselves.
So really it's the knock-on effect of baby sleeping better, then everybody's sleeping better, and then generally, because you from what it is on socials, that you phrase it as helping families.
Yes.
So it's not just helping toddlers or helping adults, it's the whole picture.
Yeah. Because your baby might not be sleeping and you can't sleep if your baby's not sleeping. So you can just have a baby that's waking up every hour, but you sleep 12 hours. It doesn't work like that when you become a parent. Because obviously you then have to tend to their needs all the time. So if we can get their baby into a better routine, even if, say, I don't know, a 3-month-old is sleeping every kind of 4 hours as opposed to every hour, those 4-hour chunks that you can also sleep will really help you. Because although it's broken sleep, it's a nice solid chunk of sleep as opposed to your baby waking up every hour to 45 minutes to an hour, like that would be hard to deal with. As soon as you get back to sleep, your baby then wakes up again. So I think it's really important to normalise infant sleep. But they're not going to sleep through the night from day one, obviously. But I think to kind of create healthy habits to help them sleep in longer stretches and then sleep through the night eventually.
Okay, can you give some background as to how the business came about and what kind of inspired you to set up?
I was a nanny for 7 years, and then I was actually looking after a baby, and the baby was sleeping so terribly, and they hired a sleep consultant to come around to the house and help the baby because they were feeling so drained. And then this sleep consultant came around, and I was there on a shift, and I just thought I could do that. Because then afterwards I saw how much happier the family that I nannied for were. And then, so I did this course in November 2019 to become a sleep consultant. And then I was pregnant with my second child. So then I went on maternity leave, but it was lockdown. So then in lockdown, I was like, we've got no money. Because Luke wasn't working because my husband's a cricket coach. I was furloughed, but then also on maternity leave. It was a strange time. And I was like, I'm just going to start an Instagram account to my husband. And he was like, no, you can't do that. You need a website. You need this. You need that. I was like, no. I'm literally just going to start an Instagram account and see how it goes. And that was like July, August 2020. It was when my youngest was like 3 or 4 months old. And that's all I did, actually. And it just somehow took off, which was great. And I think because it was lockdown, people really were struggling with sleep more than ever. And in some ways, it was the easiest time to get your baby in like a routine and settled. But then in other ways, because there was nothing to do, I think you were just kind of trying to do anything. And that maybe became like, it was just too much for people, and they were really struggling with their sleep and their mental health, and it would all just kind of snowballed. So I think starting my business in lockdown was actually a great time to start it.
Mm.
And yeah, it just kind of took off from there.
And I guess one of the challenges, or one of the if you set sort of high standards for yourself in terms of, I know when I've been coaching people and we're talking about scales and, you know,
Yeah.
are you sleeping better, doing this? Sometimes I think to myself, you know, actually, I'm not actually following this advice myself as well as, okay, so you mentioned you're mum of two.
Yeah.
And is it different with your own kids, with your own, the way you carry on yourself versus, do you know what I mean? Trying to make sure, like I'm consulting people and telling them to do these things, but actually, am I always rigidly following them myself?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think I am. Like, my kids will have screen time near bedtime. But I'd probably say if your child was having sleep issues, I'd say let's cut the screens like an hour and a half before bedtime.
Yeah.
I don't do that. But my kids don't have an issue sleeping. But I don't know if that's because I've been quite strict with it since they were born. So in that way, I have followed my advice, because I have been strict with their sleep, their bedtime routines from day one. So yeah, I think I do follow my advice to a certain extent, but myself, I don't. I know I do sleep well, but I'm doom scrolling on my phone till midnight some nights. And I know that I shouldn't be doing that. I do drink chamomile tea before bed now, though.
Okay.
With some honey in.
While doom scrolling.
Yes. While doom scrolling or watching TV or, watching Love Island.
But you just said I sleep well.
I do sleep well, actually.
So which is does that sort of come quite easily to you, and how does that just focusing on yourself for a minute? I mean, how do you find sleeping well, or perhaps sometimes not sleeping so well? How does that kind of affect you?
I look at my Aura ring every morning. If I've had less than 7 hours sleep, I panic. And I do find it hard to get out of bed if I've had less than 7 hours. I like a good 8. But I am quite anal about my sleep, actually. It's the first thing I'll do in the morning is like track how I slept last night. And I would say definitely if I've had like 6 hours sleep, it's not often that. It's not often as low as 6. But if it is 6, I do really struggle throughout the day. I'm much snappier, and I'm just not as chill. I'm generally a very chill person. If I haven't had much sleep, I'm terrible, which I think is also why I find it so important to help these families get better sleep, because I don't believe that you can be the best parent that you want to be if you are sleep deprived. And you know yourself, if you don't sleep well, you struggle as well. That's why it's so fundamental to get that good sleep for everybody.
Yeah. And just thinking about, you've had a lot of success stories. You've had a lot of good reviews. You had a couple of, everybody gets a couple of reviews that are annoyingly, thanks a lot, guys, but how it sounds very rewarding.
Yes, definitely.
Is it rewarding? Yeah.
Definitely rewarding. Someone will say to me, it's just silly things. Not silly. They're not silly at all, but it'll be like, I've not been able to watch a TV program with my husband for 10 months because my baby's been up all night. And now we can just sit for an hour and a half or 2 hours before we go to bed and just chill on our own. And it's just, those kind of things are so nice, because I think they're so important when you have a child. You still need to have time on your own away from your child, rather than being up and down the stairs every half an hour to try and settle the baby again. And I think it's just small things like that really make a difference. Or like, I don't know, they've booked a night away because they're happy to leave their baby with a babysitter now, because they know that they've got that structure in that bedtime routine that they can tell someone he goes down to bed at this time, and you just put them in the cot, say goodnight. Like, because they've got a plan to follow, then somebody else can replicate that. And I just think that's my favourite thing, when people tell me they can now do things they were really willing to do, that they'd kind of lost a bit once they had a baby, and now they've got it back and they feel like they're a bit more back to themselves.
So it's it's a stress reducer, and we
Absolutely.
kind of again with the work I do, we talk about either being in tune or out of tune. If you've got on a guitar, if you've got one string that's out of tune, it lets the whole thing sounds awful, even if it's
Yes.
only one string.
Yeah.
And I think what's quite interesting with the sleep side of things, when the sleep is off, it's knocking into everything and it's just affecting everything. But actually, if you can kind of nip that in the bud a little bit, then all of a sudden, and you just described it, people are able to find an hour here and they're able to just breathe a bit easier.
I get a lot of people tell me it helps their relationship, their marriages as well. Because when you're not sleeping, like the mum's not sleeping, the dad's not sleeping, or if it's 2 mums, 2 dads, they're not sleeping well, then you're more snappy all day. And it just, that's another aspect of how sleep can be so detrimental to your life, because you're just not happy. You don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to do anything. You just want to sit and sloth all day. And you're just in a bad mood because you're so tired. You're just counting down the counting down the hours to get back into bed.
Yeah.
So I do hear that a lot. Like, mums are really stressed in their relationships. And then once they get more sleep, it really does help.
And can you describe like a classic case? What are people coming to you with and saying, what are the kind of pain points, if you like, and then what's that journey to then find some peace from there? How do you manage that?
Well, I'll do like a consultation. So say somebody came to me, for example, they've got a 9-month-old baby, it's waking up every 1 to 2 hours overnight. They're having, for example, this is quite an easy one. Often, like, they'll need to put their dummy back in all the time because they've lost their dummy overnight. So I'll go through the consultation. I'll assess kind of their nap times and things like that during the day to make sure that they're kind of on track to where they should be. If the baby's undertired, overtired, and then we'll kind of come up with a plan that they can follow. And then because I know that they've just said to me that this baby's waking up every hour for their dummy, the dummy needs to go. Because once the dummy's gone, then they've got nothing to wake up for. So a great analogy is actually that if your baby falls asleep with something, then they come to the end of a sleep cycle and it's not there, they're going to wonder where that thing's gone. So it's a bit like if an adult fell asleep with their pillow and then someone took your pillow away, you would then wake up and look for your pillow because that's how you fell asleep initially. So if your baby's falling asleep, rocking with a dummy, with a bottle, with breastfeeding, and they come to the end of the sleep cycle and those things have gone, they don't know how to go back to sleep because that's not the same environment that they fell asleep in. So for example, this baby's waking up every hour for their dummy, once we've taken that dummy away and they're falling asleep in the cot independently without that dummy, they're going to come to the end of that sleep cycle and understand how to go back to sleep because they're not looking for that thing they fell asleep with initially because they didn't have anything to fall asleep with to begin with.
Sure.
So obviously the baby is not going to love having that dummy taken away, but it actually, babies adapt very quickly to change. So babies get used to what they're introduced to, right? So they've been introduced to this dummy and this is how they're falling asleep. But then once you take it away, they do get used to that quickly because they're now introduced to a different way of falling asleep, which is independent. And once they're able to do that, they'll get those longer stretches of sleep. And that's the hardest part, is taking away those sleep associations. But I usually say like 3 to 5 nights and they've forgotten about them.
Sure.
It doesn't take that long. It's just trying to guide, obviously, the baby through that. And it might be, I wouldn't even say it's like 3 to 5 rough nights. It's not that bad. And sounds worse than
have there been any cases, because it seems as though it's breaking certain habits.
Yeah,
is like
exactly
a big thing.
that.
So have there been,
getting them used to something else.
Where have you walked into a scenario and thought, oh my God, this is literally all over the place? Like, you must have had a fair few of those.
Yeah, but they're my favourite ones.
Yeah.
When there's so much going on, it's a much bigger transformation. So say it was just like a baby that, I don't know, woke up for one night feed and they didn't need it. It was just like a habit. That's not really, it's a great. It's a great transformation for them, and like we get rid of that night wake up if the baby doesn't need the feed. But if it's somebody that comes to me that their baby's up every 45 minutes and then they're in the parent's bed at this time, and then they're in their cot at this time, and then they're in the car sometimes in the middle of the night.
Oh, wow.
Like, because people drive their babies around because the motion will put them to sleep.
Yeah.
Which I get. But when it's something like that, that's much more rewarding because it's so much, it's a massive, massive change. So I actually prefer that.
And I think anyone that runs a business will have certain moments when they're just like, wow, it all came together, or actually a moment that sort of stops you in your tracks, a kind of breakthrough, or just somebody that has made a massive transformation. What's been your kind of proudest moment with working with people?
I don't know if there's one. I think it's just when we get great results and then these families just feel so much better about themselves. In terms of my business, I feel like, do you know, like my business growing? Yeah?
Yeah.
So it would be like if I work with somebody on social media who's got a big following. So that's how my business grew, because I worked with social media kind of influencers. Nathan and Cara, who won the first, oh my God, is it first or second? I think it was second season of Love Island.
Yeah.
I worked with them. I posted about them. They posted about me. I grew like 7,000 followers overnight, which was amazing. And that's kind of how my business took off. But they actually had great success as well, which is obviously why they posted about me. You can't work with somebody and expect them to post about you if what you're doing doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I was confident that it would, and it did. And then that kind of paid off.
Okay. And as it's grown as a business, and this also knocks into sleep as well, you've got to manage your time, you've got to manage your screen time, you've got to manage your how often am I on the phone time, you've got to manage how many people can I fit in a week.
Yeah.
So how do you manage that, and then how does that tie into your own routines?
I used to do that and I was so stressed. I have an assistant now who's amazing and she does everything for me. Not everything for me. She manages my diary.
Yeah.
Which is so helpful because
sort of heavy lifting kind of thing.
Yeah. So like various different services, some of them include like a WhatsApp package and some of them don't. So we managed to not get too many WhatsApp packages in per week because I wouldn't have enough time to take the other calls for new clients and get back to everybody on WhatsApp. So we limit the amount of WhatsApp packages we do per week. Otherwise, it's just not fair because I can't give the people on WhatsApp enough one-to-one attention that they've paid for. So yeah, that's what we do to try and manage the diary.
That's definitely a thing. Well, like when business keeps coming in, it's like, oh, new person.
It's great, and you want to take it all,
but actually, you draw. I've found actually with my own work around teaching guitar and voice, there's limits to what you can do in a week, because otherwise you're turning up at people's houses like burnt out and not in the fittest state to deliver what you need to deliver. And I think, especially if you're looking at a sleep consultancy, if you're tiring yourself out and then you're replying to someone at 4 a.m, then you're thinking, wow, and now this is not again following your own advice on
My assistant got an email once actually, and it said, "Is Victoria free to talk on WhatsApp all night long?" And she was like, "Well, no."
Yeah, because you have the time zone thing as well, I guess. If you were going to work
in a different, I do work with people abroad, but I set my time so like I'm on WhatsApp between 8 and 3, and then between 7:30 and 9. In the evenings. But yeah, it was funny because I can't be on WhatsApp at 2 o'clock in the morning because I'm trying to promote sleep. And if I'm talking to you at 2 o'clock, then I'm not sleeping myself.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't work. I have had people come to me who live in Australia and they're like, "I chose a sleep consultant in England so that you would be awake on WhatsApp during my kind of tough times overnight," which I think is quite smart.
Yeah.
But annoyingly, that baby like slept through the first night, so she didn't utilize it as well as she thought.
Yeah.
But it's a good idea.
Yeah. And where would you like to get to? Do you feel like you're already there business wise? Is there scope to just, because I think it's just nice to look at from an entrepreneurial kind of angle, what's next, do you think?
So we've just started my assistant actually, because my assistant is actually, she's a maternity nurse. She's got a sleep consultant qualification as well, and she is kind of more involved with kind of 3 to 5 year old preschoolers. So I only work with 0 to 3, and we've had so many inquiries recently about children that are at 3 plus. So she is now going to take calls for children age 3 to
Under
5.
your banner.
Under my banner, which is great. So we're going to, we're not offering WhatsApp support with that, but we are offering kind of 30-minute calls or kind of advisory emails where they could email Caitlin with all their issues. She'll go through it, think of a new plan for them, and then email back like an in-depth kind of sleep plan for them to solve their issues. So that's our next thing. We've just started that this week. And it's been actually really popular. And then one of my friends always says we should start a podcast.
Yeah.
And I would probably like to. I don't think I have enough time in the day though, because my business is, I mean, luckily, touch wood, super busy, which is great. I don't know where I'd fit in a podcast, but I probably could in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just if you can get the schedules
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think that's loads of info.
Yeah,
that was
loads.
great. If we move away from sleep just for a minute, something we did last time with Ed Druitt, which we do with our guests. Obviously, sleep is one of the strings of scales, and then we have creative, active, listen, earth, and social. In terms of your overall, moving to your overall well-being now, what tools and strategies do you have to stay well? What is particularly important for you to keep on top of?
My social life. I like to go out. I'm a very social person, and my husband will tell you that he says my hobby is collecting friends.
Right. Right. Okay.
He's like, who are you going out for coffee with today? And it'll be someone that he's never even heard of. So I would say that, like, my social, to keep my mental well-being balanced, I think socializing is really high on my list. Really high on my list.
And people,
I also like to hold my own.
Yeah.
I do like my own company a lot.
Yeah.
Which is hard to have when you've got 2 young children. But yeah, I'd say weirdly, socializing and alone time really helped me out.
And so you say it's almost sounds like a bit of a, not quite an addiction, but a kind of like you want to, meeting new people and chatting. You know, everybody's got something interesting to say. Everyone's got a different perspective on stuff. But what I've kind of taught or thought is that really it's kind of your top 5, your real circle around you that helps keep you, of which your husband is very important for me. You know, how does that work for you? Like your kind of top 5, your handful of
I do
people
have
you can
school
depend
friends,
on.
obviously, that I've known since I was at school, and we go out. And I would say at least once a month, but we talk every single day. We're in a group chat. We have actually got more than one group chat. We've got a group chat on Instagram that we talk about, and we just send memes in there all the time. We've got a group chat on WhatsApp that we are very, very active in. I'll probably look at my phone now. There's probably 40 messages on it.
Yeah, right.
So yeah,
it's another thing to manage.
My social life. Managing that and a business is a lot. But I enjoy it. I think I don't like to be bored.
Yeah.
But I also like to be bored. Is that weird?
Yeah.
There's never a time where I haven't got something to do.
Sure.
Which is nice. And I feel content. But I read somewhere once that if you are comfortable where you are, that's not where you should be.
Always pushing.
Feel it.
Yeah.
And I think I'm a bit content at the moment.
Okay.
So maybe I need to push something else. But I do quite like to be content as well. But yeah, you know.
And what's something that just occurred to me? You have your business, you have your social life, but you have your family.
Yeah.
How does what you do interact with just being mum and just being, because there's Victoria and then there's mum.
Yeah. I try not to let it overlap. So I only take calls when they're at school.
Yeah.
The WhatsApp generally is when they're at school because it's between 8 and 3. And then at the weekend, it's different. My weekend WhatsApp times are just 8:30 to 9:30 in the morning. So just an hour. And then the evening stuff is just 7:30 till 9. They're generally in bed by then. So I try not to let my work interfere with. I can't. They're so busy. My kids have got such a hectic social life that I couldn't actually be working at the same time that they're doing all their stuff. They have a club every single night after school. So it would actually, it would be impossible for me to take calls when they're around.
And what, whether it's, we spoke about the social stuff as well. What's your kind of closing kind of top tip for, you obviously found with your business a niche, and there's demand and there's a market, but it doesn't sound like you did do that in an intentional way, but you sort of saw something you liked the look of and thought, actually, I could do that rather than. And I like to also look at the interaction of, there's obviously what brings in money, which is important, but also where does the passion element of it and the reward element of it is, that's important as well.
Yeah, definitely. I never wanted to do this full time. This wasn't my full-time job. Lockdown was going to finish. I was going to go back to nannying, and I'd get like 1 or 2 clients a week, and this would be a side gig.
Yeah, right.
And it wasn't, which was great. And it changed my life. But yeah, it was never going to be that. But it is, and I'm very thankful that it is. So yeah, I would say that. And I think that knowing that I'm helping so many people all the time, that drives the passion as well for what I do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And just, I think to close, what's your, coming back to sleep, what's your top tip, your big insight for infants, and what is it for adults? What are the key either poor habits or ways through? What do you find?
I would say for babies, from the beginning, I would say sleep environment. Nice dark room, temperature between kind of 18 and 22 in the bedroom, calming things at bedtime. You don't need to spend loads of money. There's so many things on the market that actually stress me out. You don't need to spend loads of money on like lavender sprays and massage balms and all this shit, because I don't think that really makes a difference. But I think as long as your baby's fed, warm, clothed, and in like a nice dark environment. White noise is helpful actually, because it kind of, white noise is great because it drowns out any outside noise. So actually, it's especially great if you've got like a dog, or you live in a flat and it's like outside noise from the daytime. So yeah, those kind of foundations I would say are really important from day one. And I think if you can kind of lay those foundations down from the very early on, then I don't think you're going to get into that many you're not going to have that many sleep issues as your baby grows up. Adults, well, I'm not very good with that because I do screen time and I doom scroll all night. Probably the same thing. It's like a great sleeping environment, like a very dark room, maybe like an Epsom salt bath, like just things. If you are struggling with sleep, I would say get off your phone about 90 minutes before you want to go to bed. I wouldn't eat too late either, because I think then that really messes you up. Not messes you up, messes up with your sleep. A nice chamomile tea with honey. I do enjoy that. I don't know if it makes any difference to my sleep though. Do you have any insight?
There is a calm. I mean, actually, any sort of herbal tea that's got nothing to do with caffeine.
Yeah, I drink the pucker
even
one.
Like a decaf coffee, if you drink it, there's still caffeine content in there.
Yes.
There's a few calm teas, just called calm.
Which one? I drink like
tea.
Pucker Sleep Blend.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it.
Pucker's good, actually. And also, we're not BBC here, so we can just promote brands. That's fine. No, I don't know. I'll have to consult that. No, I think the wind down, the routine is
it's the routine.
Really important.
It's the nice kind. But I would also say, don't have your baby's bedtime routine take too long, because if it's taking like, I don't know, hour and a half, your baby's then going to get overstimulated.
Yeah.
So I'd keep it between like 30 and 45 minutes would be peak. Perfect.
But obviously, I guess not to put too much pressure on.
No.
It's not working today, or
God, no. Because every day is a new day. And I think that if you've had a stressful day today, don't worry. Like, it's a stressful day. It's not a stressful life.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's a new day. And I live by that. I've had a stressful day today, but tomorrow's a new one. And I think that's really important for new parents to understand, because also sleep's not linear. Sleep's going to go up and down. And just because you've had a bad sleep day yesterday, or you just had a bad day yesterday, it doesn't mean tomorrow's going to be the same. Tomorrow's a new day. You can have a great day tomorrow.
Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah.
Bad day, not a bad life.
Yeah. Get the musical elements in, lyrical elements. Great. Is there anything you want to add? Anything we've missed, not covered?
No.
I
don't think so.
Okay.
Well, I've covered everything.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for coming on today. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat. And please do have a listen to the other episodes of the podcast. They're up on Spotify, they're up on YouTube. Thank you to Victoria. And we will see you next time. Thank you very much.